Hey guys, it's Destiny, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Silverwolf and how she may possibly be a game changer for a lot of people's accounts and just for players in general in Honkai Star Rail. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. So all of us have currently met Silverwolf while playing through Honkai Star Rail since you meet her in the beginning of the game, and she has this sort of casual but really chill type of personality where, she's just there, just chilling and all that good stuff. And as we know, she is also a hacker. Her kit is pretty unique as well to her, and she overall just has a really cool mechanic that only so far she is able to do. So Silverwolf is a debuffer character who can debuff enemies in numerous ways, which from so far what we know can be defense, attack, speed, and much more, assuming that they keep those types of debuffs similar, which I'm sure they will. The major thing that Silverwolf though can do that's very unique to her though is inflicting enemies with the type of your ally as a weakness. What this means is, let's say you're using Silverwolf and you have, let's say, Asta on the team and you have two ice characters and the enemy is already weak to ice, but they are not weak to fire. Now, what you could do with Silverwolf, it's within her kit, and I'm sure there's a condition for it. If I'm not mistaken, it may be her ultimate or her skill. It's one of the two, I'm sure. But what Silverwolf is able to do is have a chance to inflict this weakness type onto the enemy. What this means now is that since the enemy was already weak to ice, it would likely inflict the fire element onto the enemy, which is really good for being able to weakness break enemies even faster, and as a result, you are able to handle enemies way faster. A major thing that Honkai Star Rail has is the toughness meters, or the weakness meters, whichever one you guys like to call it. The toughness meters are very, very crucial in this game because if you go into a fight without a character being able to handle that toughness meter, it definitely creates a way longer fight as a result, and the enemy may be able to wipe you out before you can wipe them out. But Silverwolf kind of just ignores this, assuming that the enemy is not resistant to her doing this. I'm not too sure if there will be a resistance to this. I would assume it is possible though, since certain enemies, they are resistant to being frozen, they are resistant to being imprisoned. I'm not too sure though if enemies will be resistant to this thing that Silverwolf can do. I would personally assume majority of enemies would not be, but I would not know until, of course, we get her in the game. And then, of course, from that point, I would see, are enemies resistant to this, and if they are, which enemies are actually resistant to this. But the point is that because she's able to do this, now you can technically build into less amounts of characters to handle elemental weaknesses. The reason why I say this, or rather my thoughts on why this could be possible, is let's say you have a Zila team, for example. She is Quantum and Silverwolf is Quantum, and let's just say you are, once we get more Quantum characters, let's say you want to do Mono Quantum, or let's just say the enemy is weak to all the elements except for Quantum, and you're able to inflict that type weakness of Quantum onto the enemy. Well, now Zila will be able to do her normal amount of breaking onto the weakness meter, and Zila, as we know, can do a bunch of damage, especially with her ultimate, her skill, and I feel like Silverwolf and Zila will be an incredible combo just as an example, because Silverwolf will allow Zila to just really go through those toughness meters and really just allow her to power her way through enemies. I know that Zila already powers her way through enemies, but I feel like Silverwolf will allow this even further, because now you don't have to really worry about, okay, this enemy is not weak to Quantum, so Zila cannot really do much damage until, let's say, the toughness meter is broken. I know that Zila does do a good amount of damage regardless, but there definitely is a difference between the toughness meter being broken and the toughness meter not being broken, at least from what I've seen with my own Zila, is that once that meter is broken, then you'll be able to just do more damage output due to the fact that Zila is now not going through that toughness meter as well as their normal health bar, if you will. Think about it like that. So I just think as a whole, Silverwolf will allow her to go the extra mile with powering through enemies. You can also use this with possibly a mono ice team. I did get a comment about this yesterday, and I'm like, wait, this might actually be really, really powerful. So an idea of a comp can possibly be Japard, Yangqing, Pela, or possibly a healer. Depends on you, but of course Japard already is your shielder, and you can also put Silverwolf on the team. What this will allow you to do, let's go with the Pela example, is that Japard's able to shield, Yangqing is able to do your DPS damage, Pela is able to do some sub DPS damage as well as lower the defenses of enemies, and Silverwolf is able to inflict her own debuffs onto the enemies, which can either be, once again, possibly that defense, attack, speed, and so on, but she's also able to inflict that type weakness onto them, which if all your allies are ice, then she'll be able to inflict the ice weakness onto them, which now means all your teammates are able to do that super effective damage, if you will, towards the weakness meter. And now, once again, you could break through it faster, and of course with ice you would freeze them as a result, and this can also allow for more freezing to occur against the enemy through breaking the toughness meter, as well as being able to just power through against the enemy, because of course Yangqing has his base chance to freeze, and so does Japard, so they'll be able to freeze pretty consistently against the enemy, especially if you are breaking the weakness meter as well. So overall, I feel like Silverwolf will be a game changer, if you will, in that aspect, as once again, her kit is very unique, and I feel like this allows her to get away with now enabling mono comps. I do think Silverwolf will probably be really good with Kafka as well, because maybe if you're able to inflict the lightning weakness onto the enemy, now Kafka can break through their meters even quicker. But of course, Kafka is more oriented towards damage over time, so I feel like Silverwolf might be able though to power up that type of comp as well. But of course, some testings would have to be done once we do get a character like Kafka, or once Silverwolf is here, you can test it with a character like Sampo, who I like to call Shampoo personally. But I feel like you can test it possibly with DOT teams, and I feel like Silverwolf is also just a character that, because she is such, I guess, a universal debuffer in my opinion, I feel like she can go onto a lot of team comps, which is really, really good. Because now you have a character who, let's say you're going through Memory of Chaos or the end of Forgotten Hall, or possibly even Simulated Universe. Now you have this debuffer who can be put onto one of your two teams at practically almost any time, which is really, really good, because now you'll be able, once again, as I said, break through the toughness meters. I'm sure Silverwolf can possibly do her own amount of damage as well. So now you have another quantum user, which we do not have many quantum users so far. And overall, I just feel like she'll be really good for that purpose of just being able to allow you to handle the enemy better. And I think as a result, players should possibly think about this and think of the uniqueness of her kit. And if you do think Silverwolf is a little bit too overrated, or you just personally think she's not that great, I would love to know in the comments down below why you think that. Or if you do think Silverwolf is really good and you do agree with my points, let me know down below if you are going to be pulling for Silverwolf. Personally, on my end, I'm definitely pulling for this character, because I definitely want to have this character on one of my teams for Memory of Chaos, since I'm at that point now. And Memory of Chaos can honestly be pretty annoying to handle, because some enemies only have one weakness. So if I'm possibly able to inflict a weakness onto them of another one of my allies, that can make Memory of Chaos way more sufficient for me to do, and way easier for me to do as well as a result. So overall, as I said, I think I've rambled enough about Silverwolf. I just think she's an excellent character that all players should possibly look into. If you're not interested in her at all, then you don't have to pull her whatsoever. I would just recommend that people pull the characters they are actually interested in, but this is just coming from someone who is highly interested in Silverwolf, and me explaining why I think she'll be really, really good in Honkai Star Rail. And I hope all of you guys have a nice one. Of course, if you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like, comment down below, whatever you want really. Just tell me if you want Silverwolf. If not, why not? You want Luocha instead, Kafka, you just let me know. And also, hit the subscribe button for more Star Rail content, and I hope to see you guys next time. Peace.